There are a lot of things that you can be. You can be happy or you can be sad. You can be content or you can be uncomfortable. You can be excited or you can be terrified. You can be honest or you can be deceitful. You can be kind or you can be jealous. You can be you or you can be somebody else, or you can at least try to be. But in truth, your being has a lot of opportunities on all ends of the spectrum. However, when you sit back and reflect on really what you need to be, the one thing that you are truly called to be, and that is, well, love. Love, you might ask? Yes, love. It is as simple as that. You don't need to strive to be successful or be the best parent or be accomplished or be anything else. Those things will come to you when you focus first and foremost on always being love. To better understand that, we need to take a moment to break this down a bit, to understand what love is. What is love anyways? Well, many use this word interchangeably without much thought. However, the word is heavy and it's laced with depth. And yet at its core of each person, whether you see it or not in those individuals, is love. The word has so many facets to it that the ancient Greeks said, no, one word's not enough to explain love. We have to have 6 just to describe its varying nuances. There's 6 words for love, separate love that one might have for a friend, from the love that we hold that is selfless, from the love that we actually have for ourselves. And they have 3, each different words for all of those, for example. Now, it's not often that you likely take the time to reflect on the various ways that you love or can love, or better yet, can be love. But if you want to be love at your very core, you must understand what the word really means to you. So I want you to take a moment. Throughout this video, you might need to pause occasionally, like right here, and ask yourself, what is love anyway? What does that word mean for you in your life? Now, to be love, and I really mean be love, you need to take a moment to break away from all of the heaviness that you are carrying around with you and explore what life could look like without those burdens that you constantly carry. They're heavy. You need to set aside grudges and grievances. You need to get outside of your head and start by taking a dive into the life of another. That's where being love comes. I believe that there are 3 aspects to what being love is, and I want to touch on those 3 with you. So feel free to pause at any time as we're going through this to reflect on what they mean in your own life. You can even journal about it. The first way to be love is through grace. Now, I want you to think for a moment of when you've made a mistake unknowingly and without any premeditated efforts. You messed up at work on a project on accident. You forgot to pick up something at the store or the grocery that your spouse requested. Oops. You unintentionally missed calling a parent to wish them a happy birthday. Oh my gosh, that's not good, right? But the effects of your mishap or mistake could be heavy. But your intention, it wasn't malicious. You asked for forgiveness from this individual, and guess what? They offered grace freely in return. They understand. They've been there, and they love you anyways, nonetheless. Now that is being love. Think for a moment on what it feels like to receive grace or an unexpected kindness from someone without strings attached. How does it deepen your relationship with that person? What can you learn from others who are freely given you grace on how you can then freely give it to someone else in return? Now, the second way to be love is through forgiveness. This time you did something hurtful and you did it out of malice, knowing that it would leave a sting anyway. Maybe you started a gossip train about someone in your network, or you purposefully highlighted a peer's flaw to a leader in hopes that it would help you get ahead. From time to time, and let's be real, most of us act in self-serving ways. I mean, we're human. It's part of our character, unfortunately. But when we do, we hope we never get caught. Yeah, the rumor that we made it back to the person that it was about, but you are hoping and praying that you don't realize, and they don't realize that it was you who started it. Or your leader will see the weakness of your peer, which will position you for promotion, but you hope that your colleague doesn't know that you're the one that shared that insight. But what about what happens when that hurt person finds out that it is you? It is you that did it. And instead of retaliating, they openly forgive. No questions asked. Now that is being love. Reflect for a moment on how it feels to be forgiven. How does your relationship deepen with a person who freely forgives, even when they realize that you took action that was truly meant to harm them? What can you learn from others who have given forgiveness freely? The third way to be love is really threefold. It's what I call seeing, loving, and embracing. Anyway, many of us live behind a mask. Now, it might not be a visible Mardi Gras one, but it's the shell of ourselves that we interact with others daily. You might hide behind a mask for many reasons, because maybe you're seeking to protect yourself, or you're terrified of what others might think when they see the real you. That vulnerability of what's behind the mask is downright terrifying, I know. But think about the person in your life, and there's surely one that knows what you look like behind the mask when your makeup is removed. And they love you anyway. That person sees you, loves you, the real you, and embraces all of your flaws and mistakes with open arms. Now that is being love. Ponder with me what it feels like to be seen, loved, and embraced for who you truly are. How does this deepen the relationship that you have with someone who knows you and sees past all of the parts of you that you try to hide from other people and loves you anyways? They see the good that you carry from within. What can you learn from those people who see others behind their masks and love them anyways, their flaws included, their weird quirks, and all of their differences? Now that's love. Being love requires you to give grace, to offer forgiveness, and to see others for who they are and embrace them for their flaws too. Being love isn't just giving those three aspects, though, to other people. It requires you to give grace, forgiveness, and love unconditionally to yourself as well. If you're up for it, I want to challenge you to do something that might be very difficult. I'm not talking about the action being difficult, but the steps to do it might be a bit heavy. But I promise you, it's worth it. Now, I want to share an activity that I encourage others who are utilizing my book, which is the Color Today Pretty Guided Journal, as they navigate through how to find perspective in life. This is an activity that I challenge them to do when we really focus on what it takes to be love. So I want you to pause this video. I want you to grab 3 pieces of paper and a pen and come back. All right. Now you've got your supplies. I want you to, with me, write 3 love letters. And these letters might be the most painful and yet most powerful 3 love letters that you've ever written before. I'll give you some direction for each letter, and so feel free to pause the video after I do and take the time right now, not later, right now, to reflect on those, to write on those, and then pick back up the video with the prompt for the next one. After you're done writing these letters, what you do with them is truly up to you, whether you keep them or you share them. All right, let's start with letter 1. Write a love letter to yourself. Now, before you can ever love someone else, you really must love yourself first. That's why you must start this exercise here with the first letter first, this first letter. I want you to set aside 15 minutes, and I want you to write a free-flowing love letter to yourself. I want you to address it to you and outline all of the amazing things about you. Those are the things that you love most. Don't focus on your flaws or your mishaps. Only invest energy on what is beautiful, on what is pure, and what is, well, lovely. Now go ahead, go write that letter. All right, letter number 2. I want you to write a letter to someone you care about. I want you to pause for a moment and reflect on someone that you care a whole lot about. This could be a parent, a spouse, a significant other in your life, a child, a friend. I want you to set aside another 15 minutes, and I want you to write a free-flowing love letter to them. I want you to address them directly in this letter, and I want you in this letter to share how you feel about them openly. I want you to tell them what you love about them most. What are the things that you maybe never shared with them, but would really make them feel good about themselves? This is your chance to help them feel loved. All right, take a pause, do it now. All right, letter 3. Now I want you to write a love letter to someone that you struggle to openly care about. Are you ready? This one's hard, and this letter is not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination, but it will be just what you need to fully embrace what it means to be loved and to shed the things that might be holding you back. So I want you to reflect on someone in your life that you struggled with in the past, or maybe you're currently struggling with now. Maybe it's someone who has hurt you, hurt your feelings, or someone that you've never felt love from in the first place. Now set aside 15 minutes, and I want you to write a free-flowing love letter to them. Address it to them directly in the letter, and share with them what you love about them most, even if it's hard to figure out what that is. Don't harp on what has held you back from this love, but merely move forward and focus on their positive attributes, the part of them that you can love anyway. This is going to be hard, but I promise you it's worth it. Now, being loved requires action, commitment, intention, freedom. And it's in this understanding, this depth of love for yourself and for others that brings to light just how critical it is to be love.